So what happened as you remember?
As I remember, she was laying on top of me, kissing, and we were touching each other, and I ended up and yeah, that's
No
as far
sex.
as it went. No sex.
No intercourse?
No intercourse.
Why not, if that's what you thought she wanted?
I asked her if she wanted to have sex, and she was fine with it. I didn't have a condom with me, though, in my wallet, and I won't have sex with a girl without a condom.
How did you feel about Natalie at this point?
Well, at this point, I got to know her a little, and I thought she was attractive. I thought she, for most of what I knew, I thought she was nice.
Did you feel that you two had a connection, or is this just a mutual hookup for the moment?
It was just a mutual hookup for the moment.
Greg, what do you got?
So he starts off with a couple, excuse me, a couple of things that you brought up last time, but to the letter, as I remember, he says at this point, he's repeating exactly what the guy said. Well, if I had someone coach me, or if we coach someone, we would say, if you need to pause, listen to the words, repeat the words. It's not going to be awkward. It is a little bit awkward in him. I wonder how much coaching he's had off camera, or if there's a disclaimer, or if he had somebody there with him. Remember, his father's a judge. And if his father's a judge, he's probably pretty smart about having representation anytime you're in front of somebody talking. When he says no sex, he eye blocks, but it doesn't look necessarily unbelievable. It's just an eye block at no sex. He's attentive to language because he's using it over and over and over. But I'll leave it at that. Those are two red flags for me. Nothing really big, but I would leave no stone unturned. You guys will probably see something even more. Chase, what do you got?
So let's talk about this blink rate for a second. You might see some say there's a flutter associated with the statements about hands in the pants, because you'll see him do a couple of little blinks there. If you use those 4 C's we talked about, you'll notice context is playing a role here. Talking about this kind of thing on television might be uncomfortable for probably 99% of people. And I'll probably discount the likelihood of deception on that. One more eye movement that's important to note here. When he says no sex, there's a distinct eye closure there. And this is what some call eye blocking. And there's research that this sometimes is associated with deception. But if we take the 5th C on the list of C's, something else becomes apparent. The 5th C on the list is culture. He's from the Netherlands, and Dutch people, along with several other westernized countries and Europe, have a much higher tendency to close their eyes when making denials about something. So just taking that into our account there. So going off this video all by itself, I would say something is off, but pronouncing guilt or deception at this point would probably be foolish, irresponsible. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so he's asked how his feelings for the girl, for the woman. He says feeling attractive and nice, and he gestures with just one hand. The other hand is down on his leg, kind of locked down. The other hand gives some very indirect gestures. They don't really baton very well along to the rhythm of his speech, and they don't really illustrate very well. They just kind of wave and wash around in an indirect way. I'm always alerted when people are using very indirect gestures, and often if they're not symmetrical. So asymmetrical, indirect, one hand locked down. Certainly for me, knowing nothing about this situation, I think, okay, that's interesting. Let's see some more, because just like you, Chase, and just like everybody here, I'm going, okay, there's something going on here. Something isn't quite right. Scott, what do you got on this one?
I think this is pretty much just a continuation of what we've seen with the addition of fading facts. I see the other stuff you guys are talking about, and I agree with that as well. When he says it was just a mutual hookup for the moment, that gets kind of quiet. And again, he's repeating almost the question as he's answering. And I think that's so. If he decides he needs to add any qualifiers to the end there, I think that gives him time to deconflict and go back through and almost think about what he's saying. Should I say this? Have I said this? Did this happen? I need to stay away from whatever happened. I think that's what we're hearing there. There's still not much movement as far as his whole body goes. He's got a pretty good eye lock on him, and his gaze is right at him. It gives me the impression that there's an issue here. I know we've seen him be still the whole time, but he's being really still. This is for someone who's in the hot seat. It's a little bit odd. I get an odd feeling from that.
The eyewitness is you.
So what happened as you remember?
As I remember, she was laying on top of me, kissing, and we were touching each other, and I ended up and yeah, that's
No
as far
sex.
as it went. No sex.
No intercourse.
No intercourse.
Why not, if that's what you thought she wanted?
I asked her if she wanted to have sex, and she was fine with it. I didn't have a condom with me, though, in my wallet, and I won't have sex with a girl without a condom.
How did you feel about Natalie at this point?
Well, at this point, I got to know her a little, and I thought she was attractive. I thought for most of what I knew, I thought she was nice.
Did you feel that you two had a connection, or is this just a mutual hookup for the moment?
It was just a mutual hookup for the moment.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.